presents Projekt Schmutzwagen!
Okay, so another day, Calvin and I, we were scheming on how to get this thing lifted up a little bit more than it's already at. And we had a couple ideas. We had some parts we took off of a four-wheel drive, the IX version, or XI, I don't know which one it's supposed to be. And so one of the ideas is in the rear, the springs are the same, but they have like little spacers, little rubber pucks that they put in there. So we changed the springs over, put the pucks underneath, but all the springs are broken on these old ones. All the rears just break. We've been trying to use as much as we can, but they all break. So we had to buy some new ones. So we got some new rear springs.
No, we found those.
Okay, we found them.
We're going through the yard and, one of the used cars we bought, we found a couple springs in it.
So we're going to put these on today. And the front, we are going to disassemble the struts and change the springs over from the XI struts to these struts. So hopefully the longer strut in combination with the stiffer spring will actually give us a couple inches that we're hoping for. There. Yeah.
Oh, God. There. Wait, this way.
Well, keep going. A little more right there. So our plan doesn't look like it's going to work. On the bottom is the strut off of an XI, and you can see that it is shorter overall. You can see down here these rust marks are where it mounts the hub, so it's very short. And even though the spring is fatter, so a higher spring rate, the whole spring is also shorter. So even if we swap the springs, we don't think it's going to lift anything up. So now we're going to try to figure something else out.
Our new solution here is to try something that probably isn't very safe. I don't recommend you do this at home. So normally you've got the two little slots here, they fit into the slots and it seats down. You can see kind of where this part that clamps on it sits up here. What we're going to do is make it clamp and stop about right here. This will give us at least an inch or so of lift and make it slightly unsafe if it's not clamping properly. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so while they're debating over how to make this whole suspension situation work out, I am going to put these non-color matched side skirts on. I'm going to climb up here and work on putting on the roof rack. There's a couple little channels in here. I have to pop open that the rack screws into and put the roof rails and the cross rails and the whatever rails, and I'll get it put together.
We'll need special tools and hardware.
Oh, yay! Special tools and hardware! Bring it down!
That's
It'd be cool if it sat that high.
it'll settle, but that's still pretty dang good, I think.
Yeah. A lot of thunking.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
This window works.
This corner's thunking like crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of thunking going on.
That's the corner Ryan and I did. Okay, so Calvin went out to try to do some donuts. There was a lot of noises coming from the rear. What happened?
Well, so we disconnected the rear shock mounts, and when we put them back, I was like, oh, I'll tighten those later. And then I didn't.
we got a few things done. We came up with our poor man's lift for the front. We'll see how that holds up over time. I feel pretty good about it. We got our rally tires on. Used rally tires going all around. Got our new springs in the rear. So we got our lift in the rear, front and rear, which is pretty good. I think we got what we wanted out of it. And more importantly, we got a roof rack on. This enormous roof rack that came off our X5.